It was my mistake and I'm sorry. Those were the words out of Mark Zuckerberg's mouth today. He's testifying live right now. Are you one of the tens of thousands of people watching it? Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Social Media Help Desk with Katie Wagner Social Media. Joining me, Alexandra, Daniel. We're here to talk about everything social media. We have questions we can answer from you. Also talk about what's going on in the world of social media. And obviously the hot story right now, the data, huh?
Yeah. It's the big thing right now.
I know, and you know, everyone's watching online. It's funny, it's not being streamed live on Facebook, but on Twitter, everybody's broadcasting. And so Mark Zuckerberg appeared in front of Congress today. He took the responsibility, and this all centers around the Cambridge Analytica privacy issue, where they were accessing data that Facebook says was improperly accessed, and Facebook says they've misused it, and now they're saying they're cracking down. But what do you guys think? I mean, is this something that Facebook should have known, could have known? Did they know and now they're kind of fessing up about it? Because everyone's kind of curious if is there something more here than we're not really getting besides I'm sorry, we'll fix it.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of hard to believe that they didn't know up until this point. I mean, it's something that I'm used to seeing. You know, you log into Facebook and you use one of the applications that's a third-party app, and they're going to ask for access to your Facebook. They want to know who your friends are. They want to know what your email is, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I guess this is all going to be public knowledge. So it's hard to say that they didn't know it was happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, I always felt that was something you knew you were signing up for, was that they were using your information to sell. But I always know to put my information to make sure it's secure, and I'm not putting anything up there that I don't want anyone to have. So
Yeah.
It is tough. You know, we're in this world now where everyone shares what they do, what they had for dinner last night, where they're going on vacation. But there are companies, or there are, I guess, algorithms now that can calculate all that. And so if you use pizza in your status updates 55 times, they're going to get an idea that you like pizza. And then, you know, we're learning about, we've heard all the things that on the phone, people that have downloaded their data list and they're getting their calls and their texts, every place they've searched, every email they've run, you know, Facebook and the people that have had access to that data, they're able to grab this stuff. And so they know a lot more about us than I guess we thought, but we're all just putting it out there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're supplying it to them. It's not like we're keeping it super secret. I mean, it's one of the reasons I try not to post where I am all the time and check in, because I'm like, I don't need someone to know where I am right this minute, you know, and it feels uncomfortable to me, but I know there's a lot of people who utilize that.
yeah, I could see it being helpful, actually, if they do gather that information. Then they could make life a little bit more easier for us. They could realize, you know, things that we like and ads that we see kind of more towards me and not something that I'm not looking into or anything.
Yeah, it always does blow my mind when I see the ads out there and I get served a bunch of things that have no like correlation to my life at all. And I thought, is the data right? You know, I do get plenty of things that I am associated with. You know, do you think this is limited to Facebook, or are they kind of the fall guy, so to speak, and the first in the pecking order? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I think the phones can listen to what you're saying, and they pick up ads that I haven't even searched. If I'm just talking about it, I swear it'll come up on my ads just from talking about it. So I feel like there's a lot more out there with getting the information just than Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, data is king. That's going to be the key here, is that people are, it's not just advertisers who are looking for keywords, but it's going to be data miners who are really looking for all this information, compiling it into something that can be, you know, either sold or utilized later. And they have a lot of information. For example, I got married back in July, and ever since that happened, they are trying to convince me about baby things. And I'm like, I'm not searching for this. I'm not looking for that. But immediately they're like, you got married, it's been 6 months, okay, we're going to start sending you information about babies. And I was like, okay.
Well, maybe that's because 99% of our clients come in and they say, I want to target moms.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
and so,
no, it makes sense.
It's going that way. Yeah, you know, I'll never forget the first time that my iPhone told me that it was only 14 minutes to the gym or my work. And I thought, well, how does it know where I'm going? And so, you know, I kind of agree that, you know, Facebook's kind of the paved the way. And I was reading some of the comments on Twitter. There was a lot of commentary on this from people. And, you know, one of them was, Facebook's not the little company that a guy started in his dorm room anymore. That was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The company's worth hundreds of millions, if not more. And so it is a big thing. But when you look at it, I don't know. Are we surrounding ourselves with this kind of? Are we setting ourselves up to provide as much data as possible? When you look at things like our phones, our smart devices at home now. If you have an Alexa or a Google Home or the Apple one now, they're trained to listen in on everything we say and do. Not for that reason, but we know that that's where that stuff's headed.
Yeah, because they're learning and building, so they can become smarter and better AI. So
yeah.
Yeah, and the advertising is Facebook is just a social advertising platform now. We use it to talk to each other and share things, but that's not I don't feel like that's their business anymore. They're going to supply us a service, but they're also going to say, okay, if you're using our service, this is what we're going to do with that information. Yeah. It's the same thing like you were saying with Google or your maps or your phone, knowing where you are. They're logging all that information by agreeing to use that application, which is what we do. It then says, okay, I'm on all the time and I'm tracking where you are. So it'll tell me, here's traffic from this point to this point. I know you're going.
Yeah. And we work in a digital marketing sphere, so we're surrounded by it. And I don't know about you guys. Someone asked me the other day, what do you think about the delete Facebook movement? I said, this is nonsense because, are you going to get rid of your cell phone? And are you going to get rid of GPS in the car? And, there are all kinds of things out there that track us. And, I'm not saying that that's okay, but there's a degree to where we sign up for it, right?
Yeah.
I wear an Apple Watch. It tracks where I run. So even if my phone's sitting somewhere else, this is with me, right? And so I'm not buying into the fear that this is a real problem. I do think we should know more as users about what our information is doing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Facebook itself is, again, totally the fall guy for this. But think about what Google does. Google is the #1 used search engine. It is also, its browser, Chrome, is used all the time, and Chrome wants you to log in with your email, and then it wants to know what websites you're going to.
Yeah.
And then those websites want to know if you need notifications on your desktop. So it's tracking all of this, and it knows what features are going to be utilized and used and helpful to those of their advertisers who are paying to reach out to their audience.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that most of our audience doesn't know what a pixel is, right?
No, probably not.
And we're not talking about the pixel within a photo. We're talking about the little snippet of code that Facebook uses to track your journey through the purchasing process, frankly. And it's not really about you so much as it is about the businesses. And Zuckerberg today said that there were 70 million businesses on Facebook. And that is a lot. When you look at how many small businesses out there. It used to be 10 years ago, the small business had a chance against the big guy because it wasn't such an ad dump. And if you had great content and you built that community, you could really fight mano a mano against the big guy. Okay. And things have changed, and that data is so valuable because everybody is buying ads on social media, not just Facebook, all the channels.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine what we came from. I remember long before Facebook was quite this, far into it. Remember when just having the Super Bowl was the big advertising event of the year, and it was all about those commercials and who was targeting and stuff. And now Facebook is it's a constant Super Bowl of targeting.
That's a great way to put it. I never thought about that. You're right. And, I think it's funny because everyone complains about advertising, yet when the Super Bowl arrives, we're making dips and we're bringing in chips, and that's almost as much fun for some people. I can't tell you how many people I see on Twitter say, I'm only watching for the commercials. Yeah. Right? They say that all the time.
Well, you know what they do now is they tease the commercials before the Super Bowl ad even comes out on Facebook or YouTube.
Ads now have trailers.
They have trailers. They have their own web page with their ads going to the Super Bowl.
They just need that movie guy coming soon.
Yeah.
They need that announcer guy. It is crazy because I think it's just that dual-edged sword. We all want it, right? Mm-hmm. We all want to see more. They just released the Solo premiere this week, right? The trailer, and everybody's about that. And if you're a fan and that shows up as an ad on your Facebook feed, you're watching that, right? If you're a fan, you're watching that.
Yeah.
And I think, if you get a random one for something that's off target, I would say even the ones that I was talking about earlier, that off target, that's 1 out of every 10, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
they do know me, and I'm going to be served ads anyway. It's part of, we all have subscription services to music or streaming movie, stuff. And you know that when you pay for stuff now, you can get the free version that's supported with ads, or you can pay to get the non-ad version. Mm-hmm. No one's paying for Facebook right now, right? And so we're getting that free version. It comes with ads. I'm okay with it, but I think that's because we're ads people. So we like seeing. I love seeing the ads that people are doing. But I think what's great is Facebook is trying to take the next step, and that's something that Alexander's going to talk about, is the change in the privacy setting and making it more available. There's a lot of arguing today about the fine print and, you should have known this or whatever, but now Facebook is making it much easier. This is a blog we have on our website. Much easier for you to make changes, and if you are going to delete or download the data, you can have it.
Yeah, so one of the key things to know about this particular situation that we find ourselves in is a lot of people are calling it a data breach, but it isn't. It's just use of data in a way that maybe wasn't originally intended, or those who are mining for that data or advertisers who are trying to get it, they just found a loophole in the system. Because again, we sign on to Facebook, we just assume it's my Facebook page, and you forget that in that fine print, somewhere in there, it does say, this is now public information, we can use it to advertise to you. However, what Facebook is doing right now is something really cool, is that all of these privacy settings that they've always had them. They're not new. You could go in and say, I don't want my email shared with certain people. I don't want any of my information shared with certain people. All that kind of, it's all there. But it was super confusing to get into. There was so many different formats and different places. You didn't know what was hidden where. And so what they're doing is they've created a better and more simple and easy to use interface for you to go online and track down who's looking at my email, who can be friends with me, what advertises I'm being fed. You can actually tell them that you don't want certain things. And then there's also an added benefit that what they're doing is now you can actually download your own data. You can get it from Facebook. And originally that wasn't something you could do. And while for some people, if you're just someone who wants to close your Facebook, you still want to know what's on there. As a personal user, you might not need it, but you might want it. As a business owner, this is key though. In case something happens, something goes down, it's going to give you your photos, it's going to give you your posts, it's going to give you more than just phone, email, that kind of information. And so these tools, like I said, have always been a part of Facebook, but they're working really hard to now inform their users and give them an easier way to access and edit all of that information.
Well, and I think that data can be useful too, because you never know if you're a company and you're trying to handle a customer complaint or something, that information is all logged. Mm-hmm. And so if somebody comes back and tries to sue a business and says, hey, they never addressed my concerns, and you have that in your data, that's protection for you.
Totally.
Yes, we did. And so, again, I think it's seeing the advantages and disadvantages in that. And, I don't know, do I want a running log of every text and call? Mm-hmm. And probably not, but I know what I've searched. I have nothing to hide. I don't worry about it. It might help one day when I have amnesia, or
Who was I?
That's right, exactly. Oh, that's right, April 19th, I looked up pizza. Okay, great, there's that pizza again. I do like pizza. Do you think in the wake of all this, I guess this buzz right now surrounding Zuckerberg, and of course, people are wondering what will happen to Facebook, but do you think they're obviously going to take next steps, and I think today he announced something like they're looking at hundreds of thousands of apps now as whether or not they're accessing data properly. Do you think we'll see a radical change from the user experience? Will the common person see a difference in Facebook as this progresses?
I don't think so. I think the user experience is going to be pretty similar. Every once in a while they roll out a new version and people get upset for about a day and a half, and then you're back to using Facebook again because you forgot immediately. The changes are going to be more on the back end and might, have more of an effect on business owners who are trying to advertise and what information and how they're doing it. But the data is being done smarter. And so they're just trying to make sure that people who are abusing the system aren't going to be able to abuse it. But I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on your everyday user.
Excuse me. Awesome. Well, we could talk all day about Facebook.
Totally.
In fact, if you're even watching this, because you're not watching Mark Zuckerberg, we appreciate you being here. And I forgot to mention, and I don't want to get my wrist slapped, I'm subbing for our fearless leader, Katie Wagner, who is on assignment out of state with a client. And it's just part of what we love doing is servicing the needs of our clients. And we have a pretty cool client in Las Vegas, and so she's doing that right now. We do want to switch gears a little bit. We'll bring some other things in, but for everybody that's kind of over the Facebook hype, Instagram. One of the topics that people often ask about is, well, what do I do on Instagram to stand out? Is it pictures? Is it video? Do I use both? How do I do it? Which way do I hold the camera? There are so many different things. We wanted to zero in today on Instagram videos, and that's something that Daniel wanted to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so I'm here to tell you how to turn your small squares into big stories. And so Instagram videos are a great way for a company to show off their personality and to show the behind the scenes or projects that they're working on. It's a great way to let their customers or clients kind of know who they are and to build a relationship with them through Instagram. And ways to do that is the best format is either to do a video through the square so it fills up the whole square, or vertical, because we all hold our phones up and down. We don't hold it sideways. I don't even think the Instagram app lets you hold it sideways. So just don't do it horizontal videos. So
only when you're on Instagram.
Only on
because
Instagram.
I will hunt you down if you're on something else and you hold the camera the other way.
Yes.
I routinely talk with clients about make sure you hold your camera horizontally, because that is the aspect ratio.
Only on Instagram.
So just, yes, we need like some flashing thing on the screen. Only on Instagram. And probably Snapchat.
Yeah. And Snapchat.
Well, yeah.
So those are great ways, and also make sure to use high-res videos if you can. Everyone likes a good quality video because everyone's just swiping through really fast. So you want to make sure that their eyes catch to it and see it, and then it's high quality, it's a good fun video, and it engages the audience really well. So that's a great way to turn video stories on Instagram into a success.
So you guys are both have graphical design backgrounds, and you know, I don't. I'm more of the writer type, and so like you said, I mean, I sit and watch people scroll through their Instagram feed all the time. What's the first frame, or what do you get that makes, like, what do you put in that top of that video to get people to freeze and actually stop and start watching? Like, what is it?
Yeah, well, that is the problem, because with the videos it kind of takes a second to load. So depending on how much patience you have, you want to make sure it's worth the wait to watch the video. So that's a good question. For me, it's kind of like the cliffhanger. Like, what's this video going to be about? Like, I want to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So for me, that is a perfect frame for that video to keep me interested.
Yeah, for me it's motion in the video. If it looks like it could just be a picture and it's from one set and it's not, you know, it's just, okay, maybe. But as long as you've got something cool happening in that very first frame, whether it's pouring a drink or a cat doing something funny. I mean, that's what everything is. But yeah, once you have, and like you said, high res is ideal, but sometimes I see clients or I see places that I follow and maybe they have some, you know, behind the scenes stuff going on. It's like, hey, I know what that video was. I want to see what you did behind the scenes. And those can be really good things to watch because we like to see the backdrop.
And there's a grittier feel to it, right?
There is,
so you do feel like you're getting some exclusive
like a documentary style
right.
thing, yeah. And, you know, it can be pretty short. It doesn't have to be major.
Even boomerangs are pretty fun.
Oh, those are really fun. Yeah, that's a very short style video, short, and that's an Instagram
But they're catchy
app.
though, right?
They are.
How long is boomerang? Is it
like 5 seconds?
Yeah, I want to say 6.
I don't even. Yeah, it's like 6 or it's like under. It's under 10. I know that.
Quick.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just watch them over and over again if they're entertaining.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point, though.
Yeah.
You know, is find something entertaining and get people engaged.
I'm going to ask you professional and personal opinions on this. And I see this at times, and it bothers me, but maybe that's because I have a background in TV. First frame. Do you prefer black, white, or the video? Because when I scroll through and I see black as the first frame, I never even wait for that first, you know, whatever it is, probably 3 frames or something. I skip right by. But maybe I'm just impatient, which I am. Yeah. But like, what do you guys, from a professional level, when you're putting together video and you're putting it out, do you prefer pushing? And then as viewers, users, what are you guys seeing? Like, what do you prefer to see?
My personal and professional are the same, actually. I want to see video first.
Okay.
I want you to button it up at the end with, if it's a logo or if it's a phrase, anything, that can be at the very end of the video if you really need to get that in there. But again, Instagram has your name up there already. We're going to know who you are, and you have the chance to add tags, you have the chance to do all that. So I'd like to see just video, especially in these short format styles.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Because there's so much on there, you want to make sure it catches your eye. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
And then I know that Instagram is 1 minute max on the video. Do you think there's a desirable length? What have you experienced in terms of the length of videos? Do you use that whole minute? Do you use 30 seconds? Do you use 15 seconds?
When I'm on Instagram, I'm not there to be watching minute-long videos. So even if it's something I'm entertained in, kind of shorter, something that holds my attention for a short period of time. Sometimes it has to be very, very interesting in order for me to watch the whole minute video.
I would say that sometimes I come across minute-long videos and I get about 30 seconds in and I'm like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah,
like,
I know it's going to happen.
I didn't need the rest of this. So 15 to 30 seconds is probably my personal attention span on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you need longer format though and we want to seek it out, those are going to be a good place for Facebook. That's going to be
That's right.
There, YouTube. So, but Instagram, short and sweet. We're all sitting there numbing our brains half the time while we scroll through.
It's true. And you can find compelling, like I like watching those little recipe videos where
I love those.
shot above
Love those.
and they're fast, and so you see all the ingredients go in the mix bowl. And it's probably only 15 to 20 seconds, but I can get a whole picture of what the process is like.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mind those. So.
And, hey, those ones speak to me. I end up making those recipes later. I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's move on to just a couple of other topics that were in the news. Again, these two stories you can find on our blogs on the katywagnersocialmedia.com website in the blog section. Also, we run a weekly In the News. These are the top stories making headlines within the week of social media. And number one, I'm just going to give you kind of a brief overview, is we're going to go back to Facebook. I'm sorry. But Facebook is the beast. It is. It's huge. And they're working on changing the data collection for ad targeting and how third-party people access the ads. And this, of course, is no secret that they're trying to make amends for what's gone on in the past with the Cambridge Analytica thing. And now some ad buyers may see a difference in how they're being able to access that data. Secondly, and this is great because we're just talking about video, and I'm one of these people. Whenever I see the "wait for it" quote in the thing, I scroll through because I'm not waiting for it.
Oh yeah.
Twitter now will not make you wait to watch the whole video to get to a scene because you can put longer videos on Twitter. Now they're allowing you to shuttle through to timestamp.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. How are you guys as users? You're probably not nearly as impatient as I am. But like for me, I just want to get to 16:49. Watch that 3 seconds of the guy falling down the stairs.
Yep.
And out, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm the same way. I don't have the attention span for it. I think part of social media has shortened all of our attention spans because we consume so much more information so much quicker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing to me that Vine went away.
Yeah.
Because it was 6 seconds and it was amazing what people could fit into 6 seconds and it was compelling, and then I was like, okay, I can move on to the next thing. So honestly, I still think that that's a good model for video, and so if you're doing the Twitter timestamp thing, that is ideal. I was really excited to hear that they were doing this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the only thing I pay attention to for a long video are movie trailers I'm interested in. I think that's the only thing I'll kind of sit and wait and watch. But other than that, I need something quick.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't remember growing up. There used to be some factoid. I don't know. This is probably some myth, but it was something like your eyeballs see 10,000 different things in a day, or something along those lines.
I believe it.
And I wonder now, as we do actually see so much more from TV, from our devices, we're always looking and seeing pictures, images, people. What we're seeing, how much more we're being exposed to.
I think we're probably seeing more, and our brains are probably filtering out more because there's so much information. That's part of the human brain, is it goes, okay, there's so much that you're seeing in this one moment. I'm going to just pick and choose what's important for you to make a decision. And now that we have on, Twitter, there's how many things that are loading in, or Facebook, where you do have ads and information and multiple posts on one page, your brain is just going to figure out what is important and what stands out. And so I think you're totally right. We're seeing a lot, and we're probably seeing more.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. And I love sharing things with my friends, and they already saw it, and they're like, wait, that one came out yesterday, why are you sending that to me? Because we're going through so much information that we all see it at the same time, and we've already known it, even though we want to share it. It's like, we've already seen this.
Yeah.
Well, I just have a reason to blame my ADHD on now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm so
Same
overstimulated with
Same
it.
here.
The last story I just wanted to talk about that was in the news blogs about Instagram stories and the ability to ads to go full screen on there, and that's a better experience for the advertiser, it's a better experience for the users. Instagram stories, of course, I think it's pretty hot for Instagram users. It's been borrowed from Snapchat, but I mean, I think users have taken to it and they use it a lot, and it's just wherever the users are, the advertisers want to be as well.
Yeah.
And so having that full screen experience makes a difference. And seeing it in a window or in a corner, you never get the attention you really need, and it's probably not worth paying for it at that point. So getting that full screen experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, this is a question that we probably could have devoted to the whole live stream. Shayla asks, the Facebook algorithm, how does it work? And that it's almost impossible to answer because it's always changing.
Yeah.
And I think we always go back to there's no way to beat the algorithm, and it is trying to if you think that the algorithm is making life hard for you or your small business, it's there to actually protect you from the bots and fake news or anything out there that's not authentic. Mm-hmm. And so without getting into the science and the computer digital grid of what the algorithm is, because we don't know, most people don't know, and by the time some people get insight into what it is, it changes, right?
Oh yeah.
We always just tell people, be authentic, change it up, don't post the same things all the time. So if you're a business and you're constantly linking to your website in every post, Facebook's going to say this isn't valuable. And have a relationship with your fan base, and that's whether you're starting out or whether you have a huge fan base. Listening is just as important as posting messages. So make sure you hear them and create that dialogue, because once Facebook sees that everybody's kind of contributing, and even in the testimony today, Mark Zuckerberg says, we want to build a community. That's all our goal has ever been, is to build a community. And if you're just sitting there and using the platform to push messages, you're not building the community. So ask questions, listen, learn what your people want, and try to give it to them in the best way that you can. You guys have anything to add on that algorithm?
No, yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, just original engagement. Trying to find those ways to speak to your audience and knowing what your own voice is, I think, is really important, because